I've heard the next opponent will be AJ, so bring it on. You know, this is my era, this is my time, and I just need to keep improving and, you know, coming through these tests.
Everyone tries to underestimate me, use my name for clout and boost their career, but now Daniel's got a chance to do it by fighting me.
You know, AJ's been the king for a long time, and you know, we all know he's been the king for a very long time, and on the night I need to become a king slayer, and that's my goal, and that's the mission at hand, so I'm just ready to go. Yeah, I'm a legitimate world champion, and you know, put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name, bro.
I'm putting the respect.
Put some respect on my name.
Anthony Joshua and Daniel Dubois are on an unexpected collision course. Due to the strict enforcement of IBF mandatories, which often strip newly crowned undisputed champions, Joshua now has a chance to join Muhammad Ali, Evander Holyfield, and fellow Brit Lennox Lewis as only the fourth man to capture the heavyweight title 3 times.
So my emotions with this fight towards Daniel Dubois are based on a job, focusing, completing a mission, and after that, then the championship belt comes home with me and everything else that comes with it. But no emotion, a job and a mission that needs to be completed. In terms of world titles, I'm just like, here today, gone tomorrow, on to the next. And then when it's all said and done, I'll be like, oh, I remember when I won that, and that was amazing, and that was amazing. But as for now, conqueror's mindset. Win, on to the next.
Standing in his way is another fellow Brit, Dynamite Daniel Dubois, who seeks to solidify his status as a heavyweight title holder with a victory over one of the heavyweight division's monoliths, and to be crowned the new face of British boxing.
I feel like his best days are maybe behind him or whatever, but I've got to turn him into an old man in the ring. I've got to put the pressure on him and just unleash everything I've got on him.
The connection between Joshua and Dubois goes back to their time on the GB boxing squad.
He was a GB athlete. I just turned professional, but I stayed up at the GB squad, so I was moving on from the GB setup as a representative of the country, but I still trained there. And so we would spar. Sometimes I'll see him in the training setup as well. And that was it, really.
These sessions were crucial for Dubois' development, giving him experience against a top-level heavyweight like Joshua.
You know, sort of launched me off into the professional games after sharing the ring with him, and yeah, I'd say it was a big help, and it was a good experience.
Dubois has hinted in interviews that he got the better of Joshua, even claiming to have knocked him out during one of their sparring sessions. However, Dubois has recently been more reluctant to discuss these past encounters.
You guys shared a ring before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Loads of time.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I know it's...
Daniel apparently took my lights out.
Listen, I'm not here to spar, I'm here to fight, so let's talk about the fight. That happened 7 years ago.
Whatever happened 7 years ago happened 7 years ago.
What happened 7 years?
It's what?
He just cracked me with a good shot, but I stood on my feet. I don't know where this whole narrative of someone turning my lights off came from, but...
That started very much from their side on their team. Frank
That's
Warren and Daniel Dubois,
yeah, so
they were happy to play on that narrative.
There was a lot of people that was in the gym that day as well.
Sparring sessions can often offer psychological advantages and insights into opponents' strengths and weaknesses, but they are often poor indicators of a fight's outcome, especially when both fighters have evolved significantly since then.
I can recall people that I've fought that spoke about sparring me, and now they've bashed me up in sparring, so I don't want any bad luck to follow me.
Okay.
I've bashed them up.
I remember when the rumours came out, you know, most of the rumours are complete bollocks. And I think it was talked about and everyone sort of looked at me like I was a bit mad, but I'm sure both men have hurt each other in sparring. You know, they go to war in there, they trade up all the time. And, you know, against Filip Hrgović, everyone was saying that Hrgović destroyed Dubois in sparring. It didn't really matter, did it? You know, so I think that doesn't really matter. What matters is both men are in great form, both men are extremely confident, and you're going to get a great fight.
Yeah, whether it's in the ring sparring or whether it's in the ring fighting, I won't let anyone manhandle me or try and knock me out, no way.
Joshua's time with Dubois in the GB boxing squad may have led him to develop a little brother's mentality towards Dubois, treating him as if he were inferior or of lower status, much like what Vladimir Klitschko did with Joshua before their bout. When Klitschko used this tactic against Joshua, Joshua appeared to embrace it, almost seeing Klitschko as a mentor figure. While this might have seemed like a sign of respect, it could have worked against AJ, as it was also a subtle form of psychological warfare from Klitschko, reinforcing his own sense of superiority.
When I will win this fight, I will help you to come back. In the third step, obviously, I need to have somebody to get myself in the perfect shape.
And it almost worked for him. He had Joshua down and badly hurt in the 6th round, before Joshua rallied to an 11th round TKO at the same venue, Wembley Arena. However, the dynamic between Joshua and Dubois played out differently during their heated face-off, where Dubois refused to let Joshua have the last word, rejecting any notion of being in a little brother scenario.
Let's go now.
Shut up, relax. Relax.
If you want to go now, let's go.
Relax.
If you want to go now, let's
Put
go.
a chair across your face. Don't disrespect.
No, you can't intimidate
Don't
me.
disrespect.
You can't intimidate me.
Don't disrespect.
You can't intimidate me.
Daniel, don't
Who do you
disrespect.
think you are?
Daniel, don't disrespect me. Can't put this no, don't disrespect me on my life. No, it's okay. I want this little boy. Like, don't disrespect me, bro.
No.
Know who the this guy thinks.
No. It's good.
Take disrespect lightly, Dan. It's good. Dan, don't take disrespect lightly, you know. Don't sit on the table telling me we can go now and do all of this and that. Try to call me out.
Right, can we call that a cut?
Yeah, it's just messing about, really. Boxing talk, and this is a big fight, so expect my emotions to be high and everything.
It happens. It happens in face-offs and stuff, but it's nothing personal to me. No hands were put on anyone. But there's tension in the air. We're gonna fight, so there's tension in the air. So I expect that.
Dubois and Joshua have shared a similar career trajectory over the years. Both fighters have seen their fair share of criticism, questioning their heart and mental fortitude at various times. Both Joshua and Dubois have faced devastating defeats, but have recently rejuvenated their careers, displaying renewed confidence and assertiveness in victories over risky opponents. Joshua's resilience was tested after his shocking defeat to Andy Ruiz at Madison Square Garden in his US debut. Many questioned his mental fortitude after being overwhelmed by Ruiz. However, Joshua regained the title with a highly cautious performance in the rematch, becoming a 2-time heavyweight champion. Some were still not convinced.
A lot of people asking if the maturity and what you learned throughout that experience will make you more cautious, or we're still going to see that guy who loves to knock people out.
I've been fighting at top level ever since I went into the gym. So because I took a little loss to Ruiz, I don't think that's enough to change someone like me. I've got a lot of character. Every fighter trains hard, but it's character that separates us.
Joshua's reign was again derailed by the great Alexander Usyk, who outboxed him over 24 rounds to become a 2-weight world champion. After the second defeat to Usyk, Joshua had a public emotional breakdown in the ring, raising concerns about whether he could ever mentally recover.
Does Joshua still have the fire? And I don't think those questions have been answered by fighting Franklin, Helenius, Wallin and Ngannou. I think he's done a great job. No criticism implied. I think there may be a different challenge in front of him with Dubois, and only then will the full rehabilitation of anti-Joshua be answered that, hang on, he still wants it as badly as he did once upon a time. Do you think he quit against Usyk, Daniel Dubois?
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
Okay,
by the
guys,
way, I don't blame him.
I'm asking you.
Yeah. I don't blame him. I think all these guys are incredibly tough.
Yeah.
But when he wasn't hurt badly in that fight. He got hit by a stiff jab. Things were getting on top. The referee, he was on his knee looking at the referee.
No, I think he quit against Usyk.
When they look you in the
I
eye
agree with you.
and say 8th, 9th, 10th, and then you get up. That's different.
Yes,
and it's very different to the Ruiz fight.
Since then, Joshua has had a 4-fight winning streak. After parting ways with trainer Robert Garcia, Joshua began training under Derek James, but failed to dispel public doubts with tentative wins over Jermaine Franklin and Robert Helenius.
He's in the background, he's got other people saying, you need to change your style, what's happened to you, you've lost your confidence, you're gun shy, you need to be this, you need to be that, you can't behave in this way, you can't behave in that way.
Now, under the tutelage of former Tyson Fury trainer Ben Davison, Joshua put on a solid performance against Otto Wallin, who gave Fury a tough and bloody fight. Joshua also decisively eliminated Francis Ngannou, brutally sending him into the shadow realm with a second-round knockout. A huge contrast to Tyson Fury, who struggled against the MMA star.
You get to a point where you're really comfortable within yourself and in your career and in your life, and AJ's there. No doubts, no worries, this, that, It's just go out and perform. This is a real fight.
But since linking up with Ben Davison, I feel like we've seen a bit more aggression. I feel like you've looked so good in your last fights. Is this a new AJ?
Yeah, you can say so. You can say so for sure. Always developing, always learning. I do look back on my old fights as well. And at the end of the day, there were different type of opponents. I was at the championship level from my 16th fight, which I could have been beating a lot lesser challenging opponents for many a years. I could have been coming into my world title years now, but I've done it early. So what I'm trying to say is that when I'm fighting guys, it's hard to look unbelievable against someone that's basically on the same level as you. You know, it's world championship fights, they're 50-50s.
Since training under Ben Davison, Joshua now appears to be more measured, less anxious, and more willing to throw punches with bad intent, demonstrated both in the ring and in front of media, demanding their respect.
You're no stranger to these sorts of nights. Tell us your feelings heading into this one.
Why isn't Eddie asking me questions? You're my promoter. You're one of the people that would disrespect me when I was making a lot of decisions based on what I was doing for my career. And now we're here talking about the benefits of training. So as I said, just like we spoke about Daniel and you making claims to what I've done wrong and how he's handled me in the gym and so on to try and boost their credibility. 100% a trainer.
I've had to boost his credibility. He's gone and done it in the ring.
A trainer plays a massive part in the development of any fighter.
I'm on a different level. That's what I wanted to tell you when I see you. Me and you are not on the same level. Boxing, bro. Me and you are not on the same level. And where you are in your career, you don't offer me nothing.
If you don't want to fight,
I don't need to fight.
If you don't want to
where
fight,
I'm going
they say that, bro.
is bigger and better than you. Don't forget that you're working for me Saturday night. Exactly. Humble yourself. I'm still your landlord. Don't forget that. I'm still your landlord.
Dubois, after being forced into submission against Joe Joyce and Alexander Usyk, faced doubts about his resolve and mental fortitude.
You received a lot of criticism, some of it unfair, I think, after your defeat to Joe Joyce in 2020. That's 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Some of the criticism suggested that you quit that night, which is the worst thing that a boxer can hear. So to get to this point where you're now, as we've discussed, World Heavyweight Champion, what have you done to turn your career around?
Well, it's been a resurrection for me, you know, really. Out of darkness into the light, and I think my people around me, that's the voices in my ear, my dad especially, and the training team around me has helped me massively coming to where I was to where I am now. It's an uplifting story, you know.
Some have questioned some things about you, right? Your resilience. People have said he quits, things I completely disagree with. You've showed people now in your last 2 fights, you are the real deal.
I was in a dark place and I was going through some stuff, but I feel like I've been resurrected now, and you know, I'm in the light again and I'm ready to fight. And you know, he's been the king for a while, and he's been the king for a long time too, in fact. But you know what, I feel like it's my time and I'm a king slayer.
That thing is lurking behind the scenes where people say, if the going gets tough, Daniel Dubois won't get going.
However, he answered his critics with victories over trash-talking Jarrell Big Baby Miller and Filip Hrgović, overcoming challenging moments to pass both tests.
You've got to take your hat off to him. He's had a lot of people outside the ring who question his heart, question when it gets down to the nitty-gritty where he can do it. He showed tonight what he's all about.
Do you know what was interesting with the Hrgović fight? Everyone was saying, oh, this guy's going to make Daniel quit.
Yeah.
And then you ended up breaking his heart, actually.
Yeah, took his best shots. You know, he's a smooth operator, don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter, boogeyman of the division, as they call him. And we went in there focused and, you know, no retreat, no surrender. So it ain't about just talking a good game, it's about going in there and performing.
Now, as a newly crowned IBF World Champion and under the tutelage of Don Charles, Dubois seeks to establish himself among the heavyweight elite, to take Joshua's place in the mind and hearts of the British public, and perhaps most importantly, to complete his redemption arc. And to quell any criticism that he was just gifted a title rather than winning it in the ring.
Winning this next fight will set me as a legit world champion. So, you know, I'm just raring to go. This is everything, you know, the big opportunity.
Joshua and Dubois' most notable common opponent is the undisputed heavyweight king, Alexander Usyk. Dubois had a controversial moment against Usyk when he landed a shot on the belt that sent Usyk sprawling to the canvas, writhing in pain. The punch was ruled a low blow by referee Louis Pabon, giving Usyk time to recover and eventually win by 9th round knockout.
That was not a low blow. And how long did he get to recover? A couple of minutes?
It's a nonsense. It's a total nonsense.
Well, yeah, you must have an opinion as well.
Probably legal. It's a fight. You get hit round the belt, you get hit round the leg. I think it is what it is. He got hit and he went down. Legal.
It wasn't illegal. It was definitely a body shot. It landed on the button.
While Dubois' camp argued the punch was legal, others felt it was clearly below the belt.
Yes, the punch was below the trunk line, so that makes it a low blow. It was not in the groin area. It was more in the belt line. It's still part of the cup and the protection it gives.
Joshua, on the other hand, shared 24 rounds with Usyk, and while he was outboxed, he was never in danger of being stopped. Although Joshua ended both fights on his feet, he was mentally broken by the resilient Usyk, leading to the post-fight tirade where Joshua threw his belt into the crowd. While Joshua fared better against Usyk overall, common opponents can be unreliable indicators of how a fight between Joshua and Dubois might play out. The chaos that is boxing has taught us this lesson many times.
How did Don Charles sort of gain your trust? How is this working so well?
Well, my dad just brought in the right people for the camp, and yeah, it's just everyone in it bringing something different to the table so I can pick up something. And it's also good conditioning training with lots of different trainers, you know, doing over 15 rounds of pads and all of that, so my fitness is there.
He's got that sort of fire and intensity about him right now.
Correct, he has. He's got a lot of self-belief. He's shown all those critics and some of the unfair stuff that was said in his last two fights against Miller and also against Hrgovic. He was the underdog in both those fights and went in and won those fights, both those fights in great style. And a lot of people have him underdog against AJ, so we will see. If you look at AJ and you look at him and you look at both their last two fights, the last two fights, which they both looked brilliant in their last two fights, Daniel fought the better quality opposition. He fought the better fighters, no doubt about that.
Of course I fought better position, and it's good for me, not just for AJ, but whoever else I would be fighting. That's just good momentum, good toughness, building, you know, showing me that I can do the distance and still have power in the later rounds. So, and go in there and dig it out and just have a dogfight.
Both Joshua and Dubois are riding waves of momentum, but the key difference between them is experience. Although Dubois has achieved a lot in his relatively shorter career, Joshua's extensive time in the spotlight and status as a veteran of the sport will be crucial as this bout is set to break attendance records at Wembley Stadium.
This would be like a kind of passing of the torch kind of moment at Wembley Stadium. It's almost like AJ Klitschko. He had his passing of the torch at Wembley Stadium.
Well, Klitschko got beaten by Tyson prior to that. People forget that sort of gets overlooked like it never happened. Tyson went and done that over in Germany. You know, before that, 2 years before. But AJ's on a roll now. He's had 4 wins.
Yep.
New trainer. Got a lot of confidence when we're sitting upstairs with doing that face-off or that round table thing. There was a lot of electricity between the two of them. You could see them, and neither of them wanted to back down. And certainly, obviously in the Dubois camp, he didn't back off at all.
AJ's done that walk a few times before, and we've seen him be successful in that walk. We haven't yet seen it with Daniel. Doesn't mean he can't do it, but we haven't yet seen it. Do you think he's ready for it?
He's fought in big stadiums, on big shows.
Not as the main actor with a win.
Listen, a ring's a ring.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, a ring's a ring. There ain't 100,000 people in that ring. There's 2 of them and a referee, and that's it.
As Joshua and Dubois continue to battle their own demons and each other, only one will emerge victorious, capturing that elusive IBF world title and a legacy in British heavyweight boxing.
You know, this journey that I'm on, you know, going down and coming back up, you know, and you know, the upliftment and going down, coming back up, coming out of darkness into the light, and bringing that force with me. I can't be stopped. I refuse to lose. So, you know, that's just that.
It's a bad time to be fighting Dubois because they're both in tremendous form. But what you're going to get is a great fight between 2 British heavyweights fighting for the World Championship in front of 100,000 when you get a chance to become a 3-time World Heavyweight Champion against the Brit at the National Stadium. Everything just fell into place and we're really happy with the result.
And his last 2 fights, he's shown what he's got. He's had to dig deep, and he has dug deep. And he's pulled it out of the bag and done it in great style. And that's why we're sitting here today, because he'd done it.
it's my time now. I need to go out there and conquer and prove that I'm up there with the best. And this is chasing greatness, this fight. This is all about chasing greatness. And I'm so excited, happy, and raring to go. Let's go.
For me, I don't know if I'm coming into my peak. I'm just pushing day by day, and whoever knows where it will take me, I'm just doing it while I'm here, making the most of it.
You've got a guy here that's only ever chased legacy, only ever chased performance from himself, you know, achievement, and the belt's everything.
To follow out the game plan, to follow out my tactics, to showcase my skills, my toughness, my boxing IQ, my strength as well.
I predict a finish, amazing performance, and by any means necessary.
Give the fans what they want.